Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have returned right here on the Ryan Show FM. And before we get to some of our weekly contributors, I find it very important. See, I haven't said coffee. I'm so out of it. My life has been rocked. The boat is rocking, like they say, because I'm trying to live a coffee free life.
It's
And it's
probably
not easy.
tremors.
Oh, Lord, my body's trembling. My mind's a shaking. They call it withdrawals. You get literally physical withdrawals when you quit from coffee, throbbing headaches. But it's been at the point now for a while where I've come to the conclusion, Ian, and I'm sitting across from Ian Jones, host of Sexy Science Time, mycology enthusiast,
Yeah,
and a
what's
great
up?
knower of things. Hey, man, good to have you back. So let me just rant for a little bit here as I let the audience know that coffee's been a huge part of my life. I was a kid. I used to work at Starbucks. Coffee's essentially powered my personality for all of these years. And now, like always, without me realizing it, for so many years, it was just leading me into fights with people close to me. I wake up in the morning, I'm so reactive from the amounts of caffeine that I've down that things go right over my head and right past me. People's feelings, emotions, and of course, I find myself in all types of compromising positions. So I'm at the point now. I spoke to the host of Sexy Science Time, who, like I said, is an expert on mushrooms, and they say that you can switch to mushrooms. They used to say when I was a kid, and switch to decaf, but Ian Jones is here to convince me to switch to something else. So, Ian, how are you today?
I'm doing so well. So well. Thank you for having me on. Especially as this really needs an intervention. I've heard you have how many cups a day were you on?
Oh no, no. I told you I had 10 cups in a row,
Yeah,
but I
I
mean
wanted to hear that out loud. Yeah, I mean
that's in
it's
the
part of
morning.
the process. That obviously is an acknowledgement.
I have it is, and it's also a part of the fasting because I find that intermittent fasting helps me. The only thing I'm allowed to have besides water is black coffee. So by the time 2 o'clock rolls around, there's times where I've had maybe 12 to 14 cups of coffee and nothing to eat. At that point, everybody in my life hates me.
You're
I'm
cooked,
sweating,
mate.
palms are sweaty, knees are weak. It really isn't funny. It's actually
No, we'll get
really.
into that. I want to kind of like so first off though, what is your motivation for drinking coffee? Is it to cure a thirst, or is it because you want that, or is it just because it's convenient? How what leads it? What causes
Flavor.
that?
Well, there's a mixture of things. Flavor because I can't just drink straight water during the intermittent fast. But I think it's more the routine of it, the tradition of it. I love the way it smells. I think coffee just smells so amazing. I love the
It's a
way it
beautiful thing,
tastes.
no doubt.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. And especially when you mix it with milk, maybe you heat up the milk a little bit, or if you're lucky enough to be one of those people that has a cappuccino machine, you can froth the milk. I could literally drink it all day, especially in cappuccino form. Like when I was over visiting you in New Jersey, Ian, I got to have the cappuccino in the morning. There's just nothing like it.
I mean, you're speaking to the converted. I love coffee. It is a way of life. All the right points there. The flavor and nothing else quite tastes like it. Our coffee machine has ruined coffee for me everywhere else, just because it's simple. Grinds the beans, puts hot water through it, and it's good to go. But 10 cups, mate, is not healthy. Five is really about as far as you should go because you have yeah, it's addictive, and potentially when you quit, as you're maybe finding, is the tremors, the headaches, and all those other things. But a little coffee's good. I mean, they're saying anything up to like 4 or 5 cups can maybe help prevent heart disease, liver disease, diabetes, and all kinds of other crazy things that a little bit of coffee is good for. But if you have too much, you could be wrecking your sleep. And yeah, you're talking about kind of like relationship management and so on as well. It's
It's
a
like Bobby and Whitney, and like me and my ex-wife, we would both drink coffee. We were such big coffee drinkers. We'd wake up. The next thing you know, it was like we smoked a pipe of crack, and we want to kill each other. And I
yeah,
realized, looking back at things, like wow, really, I bet a lot of it had to do with the
caffeine.
excessive amounts of caffeine.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so sleeplessness is one of the big ones, but potentially also heart palpitations and blood pressure. It also tends to foster cortisol as well, which is a stress chemical, and that strips things like calcium out of your bones and gives you kind of like digestive issues as well. So there is a lot to be said for this move towards a lower daily dose of coffee, but what do you do instead? That's the next challenge.
Exactly. It's one thing to have to drink something that tastes good or smell something that hits the spot. But it's like you said, or like we mentioned, it's a truly ritual and a tradition that must be replaced. And I am excited to hear what you have to say. I did obviously go to the go-to, which is where I go for anything now. That's Chat GPT, where they offer.
Hmm.
They said matcha, which I've tried in the past,
Yeah,
the green tea powder, but I still like that. Also, kind of gets me revved up, and
I
it just
find that
does.
with green tea too.
Yeah, it's got the caffeine, and it's just not as tasty. I guess I don't think it's it's bitter as I'd like it to be. Now they're also saying yerba. Is it mati?
Yeah, I
Yerba.
saw a couple of those things as well, mate or whatever, matcha, yeah, yerba mate. There's another one here. They're all kind of like slightly stimulants and vegetable based and what have we. I've not tasted any of them, and obviously, if you're looking for something that tastes like coffee, nothing else quite tastes like coffee. So maybe
Oof.
if you're not drinking coffee for its caffeine, you're drinking it for its flavor, then maybe decaf's a better way to go. Um,
Well, I heard that decaf is extremely highly processed
yeah.
and really bad for you. I guess the process of how they take the caffeine out of the coffee isn't very healthy.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's still true, but I believe it used to be stripped out with a chemical called methylene chloride. Yeah, which even in trace amounts is probably not great to be ingesting. So yeah, finding a tea flavor that you like, maybe it's and getting used to the fact that you're not having that hot black hug from the cup of coffee and all the smells and all those things. You can have it just a bit less.
So is that I was gonna hope there's some type of a miracle stimulant or miracle plant that would give the same effect. Another option they offered was the turmeric latte, the golden milk, as the kids call it now, as the hipsters call it,
Golden
which
milk.
I find delicious, right?
Yeah.
But it's just not the same, like I said. So your recommendation isn't to just switch over to some type of a mushroom like lion's mane, and it's to just kind of cut back the amount of coffee that I'm consuming.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you've got to cut back the amount of coffee you're drinking, and you're doing yourself potential harm for the long term by drinking it in that kind of quantity. And yeah, maybe even just finding a drink flavor that you like and switching to water to fill in the gaps. I mean, it's not a replacement, but as an alternative, obviously it's doing its hydration thing. And so if you can find a flavor you like, maybe that's the way to go instead. I haven't, as I say, tried the teas. So if you're needing it for the caffeine, but mate, if you're drinking 5 cups a day, you don't need any more caffeine.
Well, how about lion's mane? I saw actually a sexy science time piece of content where you were growing some fresh lion's mane.
Yeah. I have not tried Lion's Mane coffee, but we're in danger of running a long way over time if I start talking about all the amazing things Lion's Mane will do for you. Um, but just as a for instance, it helps fight inflammation. It's an antioxidant, and there's a whole bunch of other really healthful properties to it that are worth adding to any kind of drink. You can buy it as a tincture, which is like a small dropper bottle. So you squirt a dropper full into whatever it is that you're drinking. You don't necessarily need to go for a mushroom coffee per se, although you will get. If I mean, some of these mushroom coffees have a blend of mushrooms in that all do some really cool things. People tend to put in chaga and what's the other one? Cordyceps, of course. Cordyceps is a big one for mental energy. That's been used by traditional Chinese medicine practitioners for thousands of years. But it's not a caffeine rush. It tends to be a little more measured, which I think is probably what you need, to be honest.
I think you might be right. I think I need that early morning stimulation, and it's kind of a lot of talking just to come right back to coffee as the answer.
Mhm.
If I'm going to quit coffee, what do I switch to? Well, just stop drinking so much. And I think you might be right. It really is a matter of self control, and I'm sure that we all sometimes have that coffee or whatever you want to fill it in for in your life that might just be taking a little bit much of your time and hurting you in many ways. You know what I'm talking about if you're listening out there. So
Mhm.
there you have it. That's why we have sexy side time. Sometimes the answer is right in front of us we have to stop thinking so hard and just not be such addicts. Like
It's always not an answer you like as well.
it is. Sometimes you need to stand in front of the mirror and admit to yourself you drink 14 cups of coffee. before you eat anything, and your life is falling apart. So, folks, I
And
want to
so you
thank
goes.
you. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for joining us here on kind of a hybrid of the Ryan Show and Sexy Science Time. And also get ready for a whole bunch of new Sexy Science Time content that's going to be airing here on the Ryan Show FM in place of other content that we have coming out. So, everybody, thanks for listening. Ian, where can they find you online?
We'll be via New Solutions Network Media. We're there under the YouTube channels. Sexy Science Time has its own little slot, or follow us on Instagram.
That's it. You know where to go at Sexy Science Time, and we'll be back after these messages.
Thanks, Ryan.